Have a great day, everyone. Welcome once again to the Critical Mind Handouts, which is our handout number 3 for module number 3 in logic. This moment, we will be tackling the topic common faulty reasonings, or we call this generally as fallacies. Again, you did not hear me wrong. It is called fallacies. Now, what is a fallacy? Now, let me read here something about fallacy. By the way, you have a handout with you. You can open your handout while listening to this online lecture. Fallacy is an argumentation that seems to be correct in grammatical arrangements, but somewhere along the presentation, an error is being inserted, spotted, and oftentimes it is invisible. And these kinds of errors are actually looking correct even if they are not. Now, let me clarify this with you. Dear viewers, fallacies are actually errors that are purposely placed there by people. Yet when you look at the statement, when you look at the conversation seems to be correct. In short, what we're trying to imply here is people who use fallacies for reasoning are not dull. They are not ignorant. These are mistakes created by intellectual people. It takes an intellectual person to spot a fallacy. Now, it will also take an intellectual person to uncover a fallacy. So this is one point in logic wherein the mind should be used in order for the mistake to be uncovered. Now, we have a lot of fallacies mentioned in the handouts, but I covered some of them with 2 videos in the module. Well, the video, what do you call this? The video address, okay, or the link will be shown in our lecture so that we will not repeat already what was already stated in the video. So let me say these kinds. Actually, there are many kinds of fallacies. So those that are located in the lecture, we have appeal to popularity or the argumento ad populum, also called as the bandwagon fallacy. We will not tackle that anymore because it's already in the video. You have also fallacy of hasty generalization. Okay? It's already in the video. Then you have also fallacy of false cause. Okay. We have tackled it already in the video. You have also the fallacy of false analogy. Okay. I hope you will listen to that in the video that is supported by this lecture video. You have also fallacy on the personal attack or the ad hominem, which is also in the video. And then you have the straw person or the straw man fallacy, which was also tackled there. We have other things here. Appeal to desire or the emotional fallacy. It's also tackled there. And then you have the begging the question or the petitio principii fallacy, which was taken there. So all of this that I mentioned to you, I will not discuss anymore because it was clearly stated and given example in the videos that we will be also sharing the link with you later on in this discussion. So let us go directly to the fallacies which were not tackled in the video. The first here is appeal to tradition. Before we continue, let me clarify again that fallacies are wrong things. There is no such thing as 1% wrong, 99% right, or 99% wrong, 1% right. When it is wrong, it is wrong. It follows the logic that when one rotten tomato is placed on a basket full of tomatoes, it will all become rotten. It has no difference with 99 tomatoes being rotten and only one is not. It will still become rotten. So the logic is, when there is an error, it is really erroneous. It doesn't really matter if it is 1% wrong or 99% wrong. So first here is appeal to tradition. What kind of fallacy is this? It is also called the trending fallacy. Now, persuading others of a certain belief by appealing to their feelings of relevance or respect for some tradition instead of giving the logical basis for such a belief. Okay. Now, one example I cited here is, there is nothing wrong with non-frequent cheating It's done by everyone, especially in our course when human capacity is not really enough. So here's one student trying to say, it's not wrong to cheat once in a while because it's better to cheat than to repeat. Well, we all know that cheating per se is wrong, even how small that is. But this kind of reasoning is trying to put the law down in favor of the person, in favor of the tradition. Another thing wherein we really see many appeal to tradition, a kind of fallacy, is during elections. You see a lot of surveys. These surveys are actually trying to condition the mind of the people who is really winning. When in fact, some surveys can be bought. Some surveys can be wrong. Some surveys can be manipulated. Now, when the real election comes, the real winners will be doubted because the survey does not tell that they are really the winners in the survey. This is now the result of what we call as appeal to tradition or a fallacy of trending. I hope you get that one. Second here is fallacy of appeal to inappropriate authority. Now, this is persuading others by appealing to people who command respect or authority in the matter at hand. Now, I'll share with you one example here. The group of condoms, the giving of condoms in the general Filipino population is wrong because the Catholic Church thinks it is a mistake. Now, if you come to think of it, we all believe that the giving of condoms is wrong because it implies immorality. But it does not make it wrong only because the Catholic Church thinks it is wrong. In the first place, the Catholic Church is a religious organization. It is not a medical organization. So they cannot say what is medically wrong or not because they are not in the medical organization. So it's right to say that condom is wrong because the doctors believe that it has effects on the human body. Then you can say this argument is appropriate because it is the appropriate authority telling you that. Okay? So you see many of this in the televisions lately. Now, can you imagine an actor trying to say, use paracetamol biogesic. It's good for the health. Question is, what is the educational attainment of this actor? Nothing. Where did he study? I don't know. What did he finish? Nothing. So why is he appealing to you to use biogesic or to use other pain relievers? Well, there goes the question now. Can they be trusted? That is, again, another example of inappropriate authority as a fallacy. Okay, let us go to the next one. Fallacy of accidents. Okay, fallacy of accidents, the definition here is applying a general rule to a particular case when there is an obvious circumstance that exempts such a situation. A good example is like this. All students, all students has the right to go to Murcia, or all students are requested to go to Murcia to witness a special program of the mayor. So this means we can all go and the school cannot stop Benji even if he has a campus-bound penal provision. Now, here is a false accident fallacy or a mistake. Okay? So Benji said, Murcia said that I will go to, Murcia official said that I will go to Murcia because there's a program for all the students. Now you cannot stop me from going because I am a student. Now what you're trying to miss here is you are a student who committed a mistake and your penalty is to be campus bound. That announcement is only for the students who are capable of going because they're allowed by the school because they do not have any infraction. You cannot use that kind of reasoning to skip your penalty and go to Murcia. That is what we mean by fallacy of accidents. Okay? So sometimes you call this fallacy of alibis. Okay? So you can say something like, what do you call this? It's wrong to bring your cell phone to church, son. Okay. And then the son said, Mom, I will not use my cell phone in church. It's my Bible. It's my church hymnal. So the mother will think otherwise. Am I wrong in saying that? Now, you question it this way. What is the primary use of a cell phone? Communication. Is it primarily used for Bible reading? For church hymnal singing? The answer is no. You can bring your Bible and church hymnal separately without the phone. That is a fallacy of accident being practiced by the child so that he can get away with bringing the phone legally to church with the wrong reason. Fallacy of accidents. Okay, next here you have the fallacy of division. Okay, it is wrongly assuming that what is true in general is also true in particular. This is somewhat related to accident fallacies. Okay, now it is also called the part-whole fallacy. Now, so let us have one example here. All teachers in the school of, I do not want to mention the department. Let us just have it this way. All teachers in the School of Education gives very hard and lengthy examinations. Sir De La Cruz, practices the same routine because obviously he is under the School of Education. Now, you are trying to put one person into the attitude of most of the person in that department. However, we believe in the saying that every person is unique. So unless you can stay inside the class of Sir De La Cruz, you cannot conclude that he is one of them or just like them or maybe really a part of them. So you're getting my point? So when you say most of the teachers in that department are really strict, Mr. De La Cruz is in that department, he is strict. That is a wrong reasoning. Why? You need to be under the class of Mr. De La Cruz first in order to make that conclusion, because it is very possible that even 99% of the people in that department are actually strict. Mr. De La Cruz cannot be strict. Why? Because every human being is unique. Okay? That is fallacy of divisions. Now we go to fallacy of composition. The meaning is wrong inferring that what holds true of the individuals automatically holds the true of the group. Now, this is the reverse of fallacy of divisions. Now, let me give an example here. Pedro is a valedictorian of School A, and Juan is the valedictorian of School B. Now, if there will be a contest and they will be paired, automatically they will win. Again, do not count your chicken when there are still eggs. Actually, this applies to this fallacy. Even if Genius 1 and Genius 1 is always winning and Genius 2 is always winning, if they will be paired together, there is no assurance that they will win together, because there might be instances that they will compete with each other. They will not cooperate with each other. They will destroy each other. So when they will be paired together, chances are they still need to adjust in order for them to really come out winning together. This is very true with tennis and other group sports. Individual players who exist very well as individuals, when you pair them, even if they're champion players, they lost in double competitions, in paired competitions. Why? Because associating with a partner is different from having personal talents. Okay, so that is fallacy of composition. Let us go now to another fallacy, fallacy of complex questions. The meaning is asking a question in which some suppositions are buried in that question, or we call this also as the leading fallacy. Now, let us have an example here. Even if you don't know, ask the one asking, did you already stop taking in marijuana? Okay, so example, I want to clarify this one. You meet a person, the eyes is really red, okay, and then the person is drooping. And then you meet, oh, how are you? Did you stop using marijuana already? The point here is, you do not even know if that person is using marijuana. You do not even know if that person's red eyes is due to marijuana. You do not even know if that person's drooping is due to marijuana. Well, that red eyes can be because the person had not slept well last night. Okay? Or he is drooping because he is very tired from work. You concluded something, or you concluded something in your question, of which that question is already implying that you have an answer in your mind even without the answer of that person. Okay, so I can give another example here. It really happened in the school before when one of the officers asked, who was with you when you stole something from the store? See? You think this question is right, but it is wrong. It is a complex fallacy. Because if you will analyze the question, who was with you when you stole something from the store? If you will say no one, then you stole alone from the store. But if you say something like I was with my friend, then you were with your friends when you stole something from the store. There is no right answer there. It's a catch question. It's a wrong question. You should have asked, who was with you during this day? I am with my friend. Did you go to the store? No. Then you answer the question well. But sometimes this question is being used by investigators because they want to plant in and point down persons so that they can elicit answers they want even if it is not the truth. So this is a very, very dangerous fallacy because you are putting words into the mouth of maybe an innocent person. Okay, let us continue further. Next here is argumentum ad misericordiam, or it is also called as the fallacy with appeal to pity. So you persuade people by evoking feelings of compassion and sympathy when such feelings, however understandable, are not logically relevant. Okay, when you say, Ma'am, wala ko, I have not passed my assignment because I am watching my mother this past few weeks. She is really very down with fever, and you know what, Mom? She is suffering very well, and I really pity her, and I'm very sad. Now the question is, what is the relationship to that, and the assignment that you are making? Are you the one taking care of your mother 24 hours? Or do you have shifts wherein your other brothers and sisters can take care of the mother, and during the time, excuse me, during the time, you can actually rest for a while, do your assignment. When you go to school, you still have your assignment with you. The problem here is you really did not do your assignment, and you cite something to your teacher that your teacher will be pitiful, will be emotionally touched, and then you might get away without passing an assignment. That is argumentum ad misericordiam, or appeal to pity fallacy. Very common with students. I hope you're not using this because for teachers who understand logic, it's more funny than pitiful. Well, if it really happened that way, you can explain very well. But remember, when teachers ask you, especially logical teachers ask you, you will in some way fail at a certain point if you are not telling the truth. Now, last year, that I have not that the video did not discuss, and I will be discussing appeal to force, or this is argumentum ad baculum. Okay, persuading others to accept a position by using threat or pressure instead of presenting evidence in one's view. Okay, so a good example here is the secretary of the president asked the teacher to let the nephew of the president pass, or else he will not be included in the list of promoted workers. Okay, have it this way. The secretary of the president went to you, Sir, how's the grade of the president's nephew? And the teacher said, okay, it's not really good, ma'am. Well, sir, let me remind you that next week there will be a promotion of teachers, and your name is very much considered by the president. So, sir, please take care of the president's nephew. Wow! So now there is an unspoken threat. And if the teacher does not know logic, the threat there will mean letting the student pass because of that threat. That is argumentum ad baculum, or appeal to force. So most of us who are using this because we have authority over our subordinates, over our members, please don't do this. This is not a good way of applying reasoning. This is a fallacy. You are taking advantage because you are in position. Okay, so I said the rest of the fallacies here, they were already taken in the video that we will be indicating the links later in this video that we are presenting you also. Now, to summarize, why is it important to eliminate fallacies? Number one, so that the point will be clear. Remember, even if there is a very, very few mistake, a little mistake, it is still a mistake. Make it right. Number two, so that informations will not be misled. Remember the purpose why people put in fallacies. Remember, fallacies are not errors that just appear there. It was planted by other people. So you have to remove these errors so that information will not be misleading. Third, almost true is not true. As what we have mentioned earlier, 99% wrong and 1% wrong are just the same. They are wrong. Fourth, compromises are oftentimes paired with fallacies. When we start compromising, we start accepting mistakes. When we start accepting mistakes, we get used to the mistakes. It does not make it right. It just makes us more comfortable each time that we accept the mistake. Okay. And number 5, simplicity avenue. Often, fallacies appear because we want to appear genius, we want to appear complicated, we want to appear complex. Make your sentence, statements, your declarations very simple. Use simple words. It's one of the best way wherein fallacies will be eliminated. So dear friends, dear listeners, our lecture on common faulty reasoning or fallacies tackles a lot the idea that fallacies are not ordinary mistakes. They are placed by intellectual people who want to mislead other people with whatever reasons they have. So it takes a learned individual to discover fallacies and check it. Today, you are learning. Tomorrow, you can already correct the fallacies. Okay, just before we will end our Module 3, our special topic included in Module 3 is actually the logic of brain drain phenomenon. Now, brain drain phenomenon has many names. It can be called diffusive professionalism, okay? Or shall we say, yeah. Diffusive professionalism is an occurrence wherein courses that are not very common and have only few students in the country are being visited and enriched by members coming from other country. I think this is not the right one. It is osmotic professionalism. Let me make it clear. So, brain drain phenomenon is also called osmotic professionalism. The idea is, okay, this is actually when our professionals, which we really need in our country, are thinking of going to other countries because they are not paid very well here, because they are not appreciated very much here, because they cannot earn sustainably here. So they work for other countries. Brain drain gives us the idea that we lost our people with brains because we cannot support them and we cannot keep them in our country. So the effect of this is really very simple. When there is brain drain, knowledge is down, progress is down, so improvement of the country is down, meaning our civilization in the Philippines will go very slow because our experts are being taken away by other countries. Now, you can review brain drain in our handouts. It's very clearly stated there. But let me give you one very good example. POST Pag-asa. This is our weather forecasting arm in the government. If you noticed in the 70s and 80s, UP and other school graduates, experts in astronomy, okay, in the study of weather, they really beef up the best in the Philippines. That is why during those times, even if we do not have technology, we have minds. Problem today is government did not care for them. So 80 to 90% of our experts, even those that are still graduating in our schools, have already been contacted by other countries. Japan have them, Korea have them, China have them, even US have them. So today, we are just very much amazed how Japan, Korea, Singapore, US, other countries can detect weather accurately. Well, part of that success is actually the minds of the Filipinos who are brain drained to go to those countries. Unless government will think of ways to financially sustain, okay, and to make our professionals comfortable in this country, we will keep on losing them, and someday soon, we are only employing professionals in our country who belongs to the lower 50% of their classes. And that is what we call brain drain phenomenon. I hope you enjoyed our Module 3 lecture. If you have questions, you know where to message me in my messenger account or even in the group chats. God bless everyone, and I hope to see you again in the next module. This is still Academia Gonzaga, and this is logic. We are tackling faulty reasonings. This is Mentor Noy Gonzaga under Academia Gonzaga Systems.